Hello and welcome to episode 286 of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
I'm Bill.
Let's start
And
baseball, Dad.
offline this morning, Jason and I were talking, and I told Jason I saw this Oz the Mentalist on the NFL show on ESPN and was blown away. And so I'm just telling you guys, just go check this guy out. And he was amazing that they would get at the ratings. He was amazing on TV. So I was blown away. I was highly entertained. If this guy had a show, I would pay to go. I would pay to go for a ticket to go watch the show.
All right. Well, let's start off in an area I never suggest we start off in baseball.
Okay. Baseball, big week for Albert Pujols.
He got 700.
700.
And that's just
And
great to see.
depending on how you view things, he's either third or fourth, right?
Yeah.
If you want to include Barry Bonds.
I include Barry Bonds, personally. I know we've already had that discussion on the show, but again, it sounds stupid to say that if Albert Pujols ended the season with 699 home runs, it would somehow be less than 700, which significantly less.
Yeah.
But it's nice seeing, this resurgence of his last month of his career where he's just gone on this tear. And you can see even the Dodgers that gave up the home run, the manager was excited for him.
Everybody was excited for him. And I feel good that he might break 704 because he got 6 games left against the Pirates, and 3 of them are at PNC Park, where he's a terror.
Yeah.
So I feel good that he could break the 704.
But again, you get in that 700 club, it's such rare air that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because again,
I'm happy for him. He's been a good guy. He's done it the right way. He's a good family guy. Always lived up to his contracts, never held out.
yeah, I think anytime you see him being celebrated by the other team and then the rest of Major League Baseball and all professional sports, including LeBron, who has to talk about everything, that's usually a really good sign that you're a good dude.
I thought the best clip was they showed the Giants game,
Yeah.
and the Giants players were watching the Jumbotron. And I thought that, to me, that spoke volumes.
Oh, yeah. It was just lovely to see,
Yeah, so on the other one, Aaron Judge is stuck on 60.
which is still an incredible number.
Still an incredible number. And I think he'll get to 61 or 62.
Yeah.
I just think that, maybe it's a little tougher now, but, that Yankee Stadium's not a big place to go. And he's in Fenway now, which is even smaller. So, but he hasn't hit one yet in Fenway, and everybody kind of thought he would. I think a lot of pressure on him to try and do this.
Yeah.
And, we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because it seems like you worry that Pujols, being older, he would feel the pressure. This being his last season, is he going to get to 700? And he just came through. And then Aaron Judge, you can see he's feeling, plus they're in the playoffs, playoff push, trying to, do all that.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
So I'm happy. So it's been a good week for that. Bad week for the Pirates, but good week for that.
Exactly. But again, I don't know if I've ever in the history of the show said we should start talking baseball first, but
I don't think you have. I think it is a milestone.
yeah. But it just seemed like such a special thing that even as a non-baseball-y person, I got excited about the Pujols thing. So
Yep. So let's go college and then go pro.
let's do it.
So Jason pointed out in our preliminary discussion that we always have before the show that, unfortunately, there's a pretty good indication right now who's going to be in the college football playoff.
Or at least who we think it's hard to imagine that out of Alabama, Georgia, and especially Ohio State, who just looks phenomenal, and I don't see anybody in the Big Ten beating them, that one of those 3 teams is not going to emerge as our national champion.
And I agree, and it's probably logical that those 3 will be in it, or at least 2 of them. But,
2 of them for sure.
And we know that after 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
But
I said, with Oklahoma losing yesterday, the only Big 12 team that has the possibility of going, well, I take that back. It would take an undefeated Big 12 team to run the table to get in the college football playoff.
Yes.
And at this point in time, that could be Oklahoma State or Kansas.
Kansas, yeah.
Those are your 2 undefeated teams.
And Kansas has looked good.
Kansas is a good coach. They got a good transfer quarterback. We'll see. I mean, this is their best start in almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's only September.
It is. And your Oklahoma State has flirted with
And
this.
I don't think Oklahoma State has the team to go undefeated. They lost a lot of players from last year's team. That was really a good team. So I don't think they can do it. So I'm probably ready to write off the Big 12 getting in the college football playoff. And unless USC goes undefeated and starts winning convincingly,
Which they did not do
so they
yesterday.
move up, which they did not do yesterday. Although everybody kind of picked that as a tough game because
Yeah.
they're on the road. But they scored with a minute and some seconds left to take the lead. But unless that happens, then you're going to see, it could be Clemson. Clemson's undefeated.
Clemson barely got through yesterday. Yeah.
Clemson barely got through yesterday. Wake Forest. Those are two undefeated teams. So you get points for being a ranked team.
And if Michigan can hang in a close one against Ohio State, they've got an outside shot as well, I would say.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people were surprised that Kent State put up
98?
more points than Georgia. I mean, more points on Georgia than Georgia had given up in the past games.
Yeah. I have no explanation for that.
I have no explanation for that either. It's Kent State. It's a MAC team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the darling App State lost to the non bowl or the bowl series. James Madison, who's good every year. I mean, James Madison's never they're in that division that has the bowl games, but not the CFP.
Right.
And they're good every year. So that wasn't. They knew that was going to be a good game. So and it was, but App State blew a 28-3 or 28-7 lead to lose that game.
Yeah. You don't know if it's hangover or just, like you said, James Madison's always pretty good. So.
And then for those of you who like to bet the over, Stephen F. Austin hung up 98 yesterday against the NAI.
Yeah.
To 98-0. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. And I'm one that always.
That payday was. It takes a lot of money to erase 98-0. I don't think there is that much money.
No. Like, that's beyond humiliating. Yeah, that's freakish. I mean, that's 20 points a quarter. 25 points a quarter, basically.
Yeah. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's freakish. Well, I guess we can start Thursday night football because, we got to watch it.
We get to see a Jekyll and Hyde Steelers team. We get to see a teasing of what an offense could be in the first half.
Yeah.
That only scored 3 points in the second half. And seemed to undo everything they'd done in the first half.
Yeah.
All the creativity, all the ingenuity, all the motion, and then you went back to run on first down, and then so your second down is either 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 12.
Right.
And they were in that pattern the entire second half.
I mean, we'll do our Steeler minute right now. Positives. Pickens made, a catch comparable to Odell Beckham's catch.
Probably catch of the year.
Yeah. Darrell Revis said greatest catch ever, which is probably hyperbole. I think the Beckham catch was equally good, if not better, plus it was for a touchdown. Jalen Warren looks like a very serviceable second back with Najee, which is what you wanted to keep them both healthy.
Yeah.
Najee looked pretty good. I thought the offensive line actually played decent.
They did play decent.
Not great,
in the
but
first half.
Decent, yeah.
And again, we say it's play. I say it's play calling.
I'm stuck on
lack thereof.
Yeah. But I feel like it's, it seems like it's either play calling or we're heavily, and not just us, but the national media is heavily over-evaluating all of the Steelers' weapons. Because it's hard to imagine if you have Pickens, Claypool, Johnson, Freiermuth, and Najee in the backfield, that you can't get one of those guys a favorable one-on-one matchup every single play.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
It boggles the mind. You can't find, soft spots in the zone. Like, those are 5 very talented people with the ball in their hand, and you can't double team them all. And you have both Pickens and Claypool that can take the top off the defense, taking a safety with them, 4-man rush. I mean, the numbers just there's got to be something. There just does. And I guess let's do a tip of the cap to Jacoby Brissett, who's had a very weird career.
Very good 2 weeks so far.
Yeah, but he's always, he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride quarterback.
Yeah.
He got
And
drafted.
already saying he's going to be gone in week 13 when Deshaun Watson comes back. Maybe that's not true.
I mean, obviously, you paid $250 million guaranteed for him, but I'm not putting him out on the field against the Texans. I don't know. I just.
Yeah. So which game are you looking forward to seeing the most today?
I was thinking about that. There's a couple. I'm interested in, obviously, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Green Bay Packers. Just because that's an interesting matchup. The Packers are down a lot of receivers, as are the Bucks. They signed Cole Beasley off the street to be Tom Brady's number one target this week, apparently. Brady and Rodgers are out. I mean, it looks like the Bucks defense matches up really well against what the Packers want to do. So you'd be tempted to take the Buccaneers, but they're down Julio, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Brady has not been Brady this year. So
Julio's a game time decision.
Yeah.
But he's still ancient Mariner.
Yeah. But I mean, I think any game with Brady and Rodgers, you're going to tune in, right?
Yeah, I'm looking the most forward to Miami and Buffalo.
Miami Buffalo is high up there. My low key one that I'm looking forward to, because I think Buffalo is going to blow Miami out.
Oh, they're missing two cornerbacks
And a safety.
and 2 linemen.
Yeah. I just think that, when you watch that Miami-Baltimore game, Baltimore controlled that for most of the game, and then they had a bunch of broken coverages. And I know that's what Tyreek Hill does, and Jalen Waddle. They're both incredible, and I don't want to take too much away from Tua. I just was less impressed with what I saw than everything else. But I really want to watch. I also want to watch the Chargers and the Jaguars.
I would not play Justin Herbert today.
I wouldn't either. I mean,
I think there's just too much risk. Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him heal up.
Let him heal up, because Jacksonville's got a couple of guys on the edge that can rush the passer. They're playing pretty well good football. They're finally starting to look like a team with the arrow pointed up as opposed to continually pointed down.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've got a nice attitude. I think Peterson's been a good coach. Trevor Lawrence is starting to show signs that this is why he was, the guy. Christian Kirk, who, whether you want to think he's overpaid or not, has played really well. Robinson and ATN in the backfield. Like, Jacksonville's, there's something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if they end up winning in the AFC South, especially since the Colts are garbage and the Titans don't look very good.
Not see coming.
No, we all assumed that the Colts team that was pretty close to being a real contender last year. You substitute Matt Ryan for Carson Wentz, and that's got to be a win, right? And it has not been.
You would think. It wasn't. It's no. I'm also looking forward to the Rams and the Cardinals.
Of course.
And the Lions are my team to watch this year.
The Lions are fun.
And the Vikings.
Yeah. If the Lions, once they get Jamison Williams on the field to go along with Amon St. Brown and Swift, they've already got that good offensive line. If they get somebody to replace Jared Goff in the draft with all these supposedly good quarterbacks coming out, that team could be scary. Real scary.
Yeah.
And then I'm oddly interested in the Eagles-Washington, because I want to see the Eagles, put up the big numbers again, I guess. I'm still a little doubtful of the Eagles.
Okay.
And I have no reason. I mean, I like Jalen Hurts. Obviously they've got weapons all over the place. They're flying all over the field looking good. I just want to see them put away a divisional opponent. And then I guess we got to talk about Dallas, who doesn't want to die.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. I was shocked they won last week.
Yeah. I mean, I bet, I'm still very conservative in my betting, but I put more money on that game than any other game because I was like, the odds aren't good, but there's no way the Bengals are going to lose to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. And they got dominated.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm interested in the Bengals game today, too, because I want to see if the Bengals end up 0-3 after a Super Bowl.
And who do the Bengals have today?
That is a good question. Who do the Bengals have today?
I know they have the Dolphins on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Oh, they have the Jets today.
The Jets, who were surprisingly frisky. Is that what we call them?
Frisky's a good word.
I mean, they've got a lot of talent. And it looks,
Yeah.
they're, and, a decent coach.
I think the dog of the week is either the Lions or the Jets.
Well, don't forget those
On the
sneaky.
betting. The Jets are getting 6 against the Bengals, and the Lions are getting 6.5 against the Vikings.
I got 7.5 on the Jags.
I'll see if that one comes up for one of the ones.
Yeah. I mean, I bet that game last
Two
Sunday.
people picking the Jets.
I mean, say what you want about Flacco, but he's competent.
Yeah.
And then Bryce Hall, I mean, the receivers look good. They're frisky. They're very frisky. Now next week they supposedly bringing back Zach Wilson to start again, which puts him in that weird position of, I know they have to do it. You invested the number 2 overall pick in Zach Wilson, so you got to get him out there and see what you got. But
So do the Giants go 3-0 today?
well, they play Monday night. They're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah. Do they go 3-0?
I don't think so. I think Parsons is, going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he's going to tear the Giants up this week. And
Where is the game?
It's in New York on Monday night. But I just, the Cowboys, I think it was Steve Young was saying that, Dak is obviously a much more talented quarterback than Cooper Rush, but that he does need to watch the stuff that Cooper Rush is doing and take advantage of the little things that are there. So.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Fun. The NFL is fun already. Had some great games, great matchups already.
Yeah. And it just keeps getting better. And even as a Steeler fan, I can get excited about the draft next year and Pickens, and there's stuff to, there's always stuff with the NFL. That's what separates it from some of the other sports, I think.
And we saw that the Suns situation, looks like it's settled down, that you're going to sell the team.
Yeah. I don't want to see Bezos buy it, but I know he's one of the names being bandied about.
Bezos, Iger from Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Celtics look like they have a new coach.
Yeah. I'm having trouble getting my arms around all this.
I do know that somebody came out in support of Idobe. I'm probably pronouncing his name right, the Celtics coach. And then he came right back on Twitter and he was like, look, I'm really sorry. He's like, I did not understand all the details of his situation. I got some inside scoop. He's like, this is not okay. So I think that might just be, I think it's a tough situation for the Celtics to handle because they obviously, it started coming out. They wanted to stay ahead of it, but they're not trying to put the woman's name out. They don't have all the details. They're trying not to put the cart before the horse. And, obviously the media and the consumption of the media, people aren't patient. But
yeah, so
I think he's done.
If it's a consensual relationship, I mean, I haven't seen any details at all other than it was a consensual relationship. So this consensual relationship means it was somebody that was like an intern? I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like I said from the player on Twitter that quickly removed everything, and some of the things I've heard from Jalen on ESPN and Stephen A. Smith is like, just stay tuned. This is a lot grosser than you think. Like, don't jump to defend somebody because you're like, well, consensual, and it's like just.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
But I give them credit for suspending him for a whole year. So I mean, they didn't play around with it.
No. And hopefully the young woman's name never has to come out unless she wants it to, and that
Hopefully
people can just sort of let that. I know they won't, but just leave that part. Leave that part of the story alone. There's no need to pursue that.
Yeah.
Wait till the Celtics give you all the details when he's eventually fired, and you'll figure everything out, and that'll be the end of it. But yeah.
I think there was anything else.
I don't think sports-wise.
Live Golf seems to still be limping along with plenty of money.
Well, I'll give a quick sports entertainment update.
Okay.
I think I had talked about how successful AEW was becoming, right? In the
Yeah,
past.
you did.
Well, when Vince McMahon was forced to step down, he and a lot of his cronies were left to WWE. Triple H and Stephanie, the daughter, took over. And now WWE's had this incredible resurgence. They've scrapped plans for sexy NXT that Vince McMahon and his pervy ass wanted. They brought back a lot of their fan favorite wrestlers that didn't look like Vince McMahon wanted them to look like. And they're bringing back story and they're putting more wrestling on TV. And meanwhile, AEW is kind of falling apart. They had a giant outburst. They've had a bunch of people ask for their release. They've suspended a bunch of people. So just like that, the tables have turned again. Now, granted, AEW just brought in 1.275 billion viewers, which is really good. But it looked like they had a chance. They were sort of catching the lead horse, and then once Vince McMahon went away, like it's right back to WWE again. The writing is better, the storytelling is better. Like all the things people complained about as soon as Vince McMahon was gone got better. So AEW had their chance, and then it seems like they had some weird ego stuff and brought in a couple of the wrong people, gave some wrong people power, and fell apart. For anyone interested. And obviously you can Google more stuff on AEW. We're not going to talk too much about it, though, because it is wrestling.
No, but it was interesting, though, that the brand loyalty, the brand value of the WWE was still there.
Yeah.
It was declining, but there was still enough core brand value that when the right things were done, the audiences came back.
Yeah, because
that shows you how strong the brand is.
It makes me think of PGA and Liv, where Liv does feel like the upstart that's trying to pay a little better and do some other things that AEW was trying to do. But like once WWE got their stuff back together, it was just over.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're complete parallels, but it just every time you bring that up, I was like, huh, little fledgling, brought some stars over. Yeah. I do have entertainment this week.
Well, I got one more thing. We forgot to talk about one NFL thing, one NFL storyline.
Oh.
That I think is pretty intriguing.
Okay.
How disappointing are the Denver Broncos?
I would say very.
You and I both picked them fourth.
Yeah.
In our division.
We did.
So we were seeing something that I guess other people weren't seeing until now.
And again,
you got a rookie coach.
Yes. Who's been awful.
And who's looked really over his skis.
They did hire a special senior consultant to help with game time decisions. They added to the staff this week. But I think if you watch Seattle play over the last couple of years, Russ did not look like the Russ from before. He honestly reminded me a lot of Roethlisberger down the end. Like, not that Roethlisberger was ever a bad quarterback, but what made Big Ben special was when he was Big Ben. And he could just shake off linebackers and fling the ball 80 yards down the field and do that kind of stuff. And then when he couldn't do that anymore, he was still efficient, but he wasn't the same player. And Russ was no longer, he wasn't using his feet. Like, he was never Kyler Murray, but he was moving around in the pocket. He was running the ball. He was doing things. And, like, you didn't see that the last 2 or 3 years in Seattle. And some people wondered, like, did he just stop doing it because he was unhappy and wasn't trying to get himself hurt in Seattle? Or is he just not, does he not have that skill anymore? Did he lose a step? Because again, now all of a sudden he's a 5'10" pocket quarterback that can't see over the line. And he's not a threat to run anymore. You've lost a lot of what made Russ Russ.
And you paid a lot of money for a Russ that's not Russ.
Yeah, you did. And a lot of draft picks.
In fact, maybe that could be our theme for a future show. How many Russes did you... Who are the most overvalued Russes, overpaid Russes?
Yeah. And again, I mean,
Sadly.
it'd
be a sad show, but it's...
Yeah. But Denver's also, you lost your third wide receiver to start the year. Jerry Jeudy's been unhealthy. Sutton has been awesome, making our name look very good, helping the Sutton Impact family style brand, playing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just, they don't look like they got money's worth across the board.
Yeah. Okay, what's your entertainment? What do you got?
Okay, I got a couple. First, this morning, as my Sunday morning view, I watched Vengeance, which is on Peacock currently. It's written and directed by B.J. Novak, who wrote and directed on The Office and also played Ryan on The Office. And it's really, really good. I don't want to give too much away. I would just say like it's going to bring a lot of things. It's basically he's a New York writer who wants to have a podcast, and he hooked up with this girl from Texas. She dies, and his family calls, and they bring him down. And it looks like he's going to sort of exploit the situation to start a podcast, and meet this family and these characters. But I think it's a good look at society and a good look at people. And one of the themes of the movie is listening.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the best voice, is to listen to other people. And I think it just does a really nice job of sort of looking at consumption and everything else. But it's also very entertaining.
Okay.
And then I watched probably the most talked about show of the week. I watched the 10 episode. We watched Dahmer with Evan Peters on Netflix.
And how was that?
He's incredible in it. It was honestly like a long. I would put it up there with Mindhunter as far as sort of the serial killer topic show.
Ooh, that's pretty good praise.
Yeah, maybe not quite that good, but his performance was amazing, absolutely amazing. And the one thing the show did, like some people said they couldn't take it and they were turning it off. They don't show a lot of violence,
Thank
but
goodness.
they do have episodes dedicated to his victims where you meet. It's obviously a fictionalized version of what happened.
Right. Yeah.
But when you meet some of the victims, I think this show has done better than almost all the true crime of making you understand who the victim was and the family of what victim was and how and like we were almost on the couch. One of his victims was named Tony, and it was almost like watching a sporting event. We're just like, Tony, don't no, Tony. Because it just,
that sounds really good. I'm about to watch it.
The performances were so good and the storytelling was so good, and it looks at it from all. It doesn't. I think it does a good job of not glamorizing it, but still telling the story in a very entertaining way. Which I think is some people feel like it's because you have Evan Peters playing Jeffrey Dahmer, and people love Evan Peters from American Horror Story and X-Men and things along those lines. That you sort of like when SNL made Tina Fey play the Alaskan woman, Sarah Palin. Like you're putting this positive association, but I did not get any of that from the show. I still abhorred him, despite him being an incredible actor giving a great performance.
Okay.
So,
Mom and I watched Where the Crawdads Sing.
and what'd you think?
I thought it was well done. Mom had read the book in her book club. It's a good story with a twist.
Okay.
A chick flick murder.
Yeah.
But I liked it. We liked it. Have you seen it?
I have not. It's not on any of my streaming services I connect to currently.
So we watched it and we enjoyed it. So it was good.
Yeah. Nice.
And still enjoying House of Dragon. Look forward to that episode again tonight. Still watching City on a Hill, which I think this is the best season of City on a Hill yet.
Oh, and one more entertainment. I'm sorry I forgot this one. But I forgot to talk to Mom about this as well. Abbott Elementary is back on TV.
Yes. Very well done.
Just like I said, it's everyone on that is perfectly cast. You can tell the people that wrote it are teachers. But it does make you both, you enjoy the show, but it brings up issues for me, my small time of teaching, and the frustration and the anger and, the lack of emphasis.
Lack of resources and lack of...
Yeah.
Yeah. No question. It accentuates a lot of that as well.
Like I said...
It really shows a have-not school district.
Yeah. And they clearly had some writers that know Philly sports on this first episode.
Yeah, I thought the first episode this year wasn't as good as the episode I've seen from last year.
No, but I thought Gritty was fantastic for a cameo.
That was pretty good, yeah. I agree with that. That was really well done.
You wouldn't think that Gritty would be a good cameo as a silent mascot, but he performed great. It was a good cameo. Good cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they'd got him for the week before the kids were there and everything, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
but it's a well written show. I really like the writing.
Yeah, she's done
I
on
like
it.
the authenticity of it.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good show. I would recommend it. And I'm hoping, I don't know this yet, I'm hoping that the Wonder Years was renewed. I don't know if it was or not. But I really enjoyed that show from a black perspective in the same time zone as the original Wonder Years. I really liked that show.
yeah. I did not get a chance to check that out, but that was on my list. I think it's on my watch list on Hulu.
Again, good writers and good acting, and good plot lines,
Yeah.
and true to the time. So I always enjoy that.
Yeah.
Do you have any food?
No, we're doing one cheat meal a week, and other than that, we're eating really healthy. So we've been making a lot of homemade soups and stews and quinoas and things along those lines.
Oh,
And we
good for
did,
you.
and we went to a very mediocre bakery for our treat this week, so it was kind of disappointing. But
I'm trying to think if we had anything.
well, you ate at a Hulk Hogan restaurant today, right?
Yeah, and it was it was okay. You know, the reviews were one of the reviews. Is it overpriced? $51 for two people to have breakfast, including tip.
Yes, that's overpriced.
And I didn't have it. And Negroes had a meat entree. I had biscuits and gravy that probably had talked to the sausage as it was being prepared.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and you guys didn't have mimosas or anything crazy either, I assume.
Nope. I had water. Mom had coffee.
Yeah, $51 is
So
not.
overpriced and not that great
Yeah, that's.
at Hogan's Hangout. So if you're in Clearwater, I wouldn't give it a stunning review. I'd go to Clear Sky.
That's a shocking amount of money for breakfast.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm like, because Mom had just mentioned it was expensive. She hadn't actually dropped the price, and I was like, so just 2 entrees, a coffee, and a water for $51? My God.
I gave a 22% tip just because I'm trying to still,
Yeah.
really help out servers. But
Of course, yeah. But still, that's, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Well, 17. My entree was hash browns, 2 biscuits, gravy, and 2 eggs
yeah.
for $17.
No, it seems high.
Yeah. If the gravy or the biscuits would have been great, I probably wouldn't have said anything, but they weren't. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a shame.
But this is a hurricane week coming up, so we'll see what the weather is in Tampa. Mom and I are escaping to the Finger Lakes of New York on Tuesday
Nice.
to go see our friends, the Hartneys, and have some nice highs in the high 50s and lows in the 40s
Yeah, we are not getting that
for a
weather.
couple of days.
Yeah, New Orleans, instead of going to the mediocre bakery we went to yesterday, we wanted to maybe go to Beignet Fest, but it was 97, I think, yesterday. It's almost October, and that just felt a little bit too hot to be walking around.
Are they showing any of the hurricane models coming your way or not? I don't think they're coming that far away.
I don't think they're coming that far away. Yeah, not as of yet. But I mean, as we've learned, sadly, anyone lives in the South, like, the models don't really mean a lot.
No.
The ones that are definitely going to hit, somehow you get an hour of sprinkles. And the ones that are supposed to be mild, you outpower for a week. So you just
it's tough stuff.
you just don't know. All right. Well, enjoy football today and Monday.
Yeah, everybody, let's see how many undefeated teams we have left after this week.
Exactly. All right.